modified. This is one of my two Glarry GP Pro basses. Heavily modified, as you can see. I really enjoy these. I even made a video that I called like a follow-up on having this for 2 years or whatever. Now I can't even keep up with it. It's 3 years, 3.5 years that I've had this and the wooden one right about there behind me. I wanted to talk about this white one specifically because I've had 3 different aftermarket pickups in here. This is the third of 3. And part of it is experimentation, as the whole point of my channel from the get-go was meant to be experimentation and trying things so you don't have to, so you can hear it. Yeah, there's that. But then also the bass has kind of evolved with what I'm doing at the time. So I got the bass for a visual thing for a music video. And then when I had it, I figured I would do something with it that I didn't have otherwise. So I filed the nut, bought some nut files, set it up for BEAD, and I put flat wound Diodario chromes on it. And I put a DiMarzio 60s P, the metal casing pickup in it. So a combination of all of those things made this bass a certain vibe. The 60s P pickup was very good, by the way, especially in combination with the flat wounds. The two together were good. Later I put round wounds on it and I wasn't feeling it as much. So then, because I like DiMarzio, right, I got the Model P and I put it in here. And the Model P was good also for the vibe of what I was doing at that time, which was different. Go figure. Sometimes you change. So the Model P with the round wounds and also having the low string was essentially like the Sledgehammer, right? It's one of the most ridiculously high output pickups I've ever heard in my life. In addition to also this wooden one. I'm having a hard time with the camera. This has a DiMarzio Relentless middle pickup in it, which is also off the charts high output, right? Like an active bass can't touch it. Maybe if you have an active bass boosted like entirely, you might be higher, but it's insane. And my thought process when I had this one and then I put the Model P in the other was I was like, oh, these basses sound so good, nothing can touch it. That's kind of a deception of the ears. We think when we hear things back to back, if one's louder, we think it's better. And also because of the output, it has a lot of bass content to it. And this is a bass guitar, right? It sounded very full, very fat, very warm. And again, it was really good, but I've changed my mind on how I feel about this. So several recordings that I made with the 2 different DiMarzio pickups, the Relentless and the Model P. Not so much the 60s P. The 60s P is very high output, but it's like a different level. Don't get me wrong. I started to have a certain sort of clipping, a certain sort of sound due to the output being so high. I think for some people that's actually just fine and it's perfect. But I've changed my mind on how I feel about it because of this. Because I've tried other pickups that are high output, that are very strong, but they're not quite on that ridiculous level. So here's what I mean. As far as the bass goes, I would consider low output to be vintage like jazz bass single coils. Those are low output. And when you listen to them, they're very detailed. They have a nice bass end, but it's not woolly. and they have this openness, and it's very nice for what it is, but it's not very strong. It's, I don't know, it's something that we haven't been used to for a while in recordings. So I don't really like the low output, but then sort of like the medium output is maybe a more vintage P-bass kind of, territory. And it sounds really good. And I think we've heard that so much that people are trying to find old vintage P-basses to sort of still get into that territory. This now, in this bass, is a 916 pickups heavy 70s pickup. So what this was Matt's design to incorporate sort of the 70s P-bass. This is wound to like a 10K, upper 10K, and it has extra pole pieces, not just 2, but 3 per string. And this is, I'm going to go ahead and say it's very high output. I would say it's probably medium high. But if this is like, I don't know, like an 80, then the DiMarzios are still like 100 on the scale. It's ridiculous. So I'm feeling when I play bass that I want to hear something very full, very strong, that has a lot of sustain because of how much it is, but it's not clipping everything I put it through. It's not overdriving everything. I want to be able to have some dynamics. I want to be able to have some kind of adjustment area, right? And this is exactly what I'm wanting right now. Now, somewhere up on this windowsill of stuff is still the DiMarzio Model P pickup. I've still got it. I don't really intend to put it back in here, but I do like the pickup. I could find a use for it. Having this as a contrast to my other one back here is great. This is alnico. This is somewhat older school. That's just sledgehammer. This is more of like, I don't want to say scalpel. Scalpel's like, jazz bass or something like this. This is probably more like a small hammer or a mallet or something like that. This isn't going to destroy everything, and it gives you some possibility for, boosting your signal. I just want to make it clear that I'm not saying that you should. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have high output pickups. I'm not saying that you should have high output pickups. What I'm saying is that every person's band genre is different. Every person's recording setup is different. Every person's amp amps or preamps or whatever is different. And there's wiggle room in everything. I felt like for the longest time that all of my basses had to be similar output because I wanted to be able to switch them on the fly and have similar stuff. Well, there's ways around that. If you're using a digital modeler, you can adjust the gain. If you're using an old school pedal board, you have a boost pedal somewhere in the circuit to compensate, right? Or you just don't play more than one bass for a show or a recording session. Or if you swap basses for like a new song, you adjust the gain on your interface or whatever. There's ways around this stuff. I couldn't see it at the time, but now I do. And I think now I do just because there's been a lot of change in a lot of things. So, anyways, I just want to say that don't be afraid to have a lot of variety in the basses that you have. A lot of different types. I may have 3 different types of P basses. This one, and this one. But now at least this one is alnico 70s type wind. The other 2 are ceramic and higher output. But yeah, this gives me a little bit of variety. They're all P-style basses, but you can grab something different and get a different sound. And then, I have a Stingray, active 2 pickup, and then a short scale. So, good bit of different variety and things that I can record. Different inspiration for different situations.